Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a deep dive with the Boss SY-1000. Not only are we going to explore some of the functionality, and there is a lot of functionality in this, we're also going to do this by exploring the software editor, Boss Tone Studio, which looks like this. And we're also going to try dial in a few sounds from scratch. So let's go. I've got the GK3 pickup mounted on my Strat. I'm also running a normal guitar cable from the output of my Strat to the instrument input of the SY-1000. Alternatively, you can go from your guitar output to the input of the GK pickup and use mix mode. But I just want to run it this way so that we can show off some of the individual processing. All right, this is what you're confronted with when you open up the editor. I really like it because it lays out everything that's in the patch in front of you. And if we start up here, you can see on the far left, you've got a choice of 3 different GK instrument voices, as well as the normal pickup input. And then you've got blocks. So you've got effects, you've got amp modeling. If you're familiar with the Boss GT1000, same kind of thing. You've got, I think, nearly everything from the GT1000 in here. So this doubles up not only as a guitar synth, but as a guitar modeler as well. But let's keep it simple. Let's start with instrument 1 and have a look at some of the things that you can get there. At the moment, I have selected the type to be the dynamic synth. We've got oscillator synth, GR300, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, electric bass, Vio guitar from the VG8 has made a comeback, and poly effects. So this dynamic synth I've really been enjoying, so I'm going to stick with that one. The common section lets you set the individual volume of each string, as well as the panning of each string, as well as the individual instrument output. So if you're like me, you're gonna go, what? I can pan strings wherever I want? Quick, let's pan them hard left and hard right in an alternating fashion, and get this. That's amazing. You can't do that without a whole bunch of fuss with a regular pickup, and you can do it so easily with the GK pickup. You can also access a bunch of alternate tunings. For example, if I wanted to quickly retune my standard tune Strat to drop C, I can do that. That's still making me so happy to hear those strings panning around. There's a whole bunch of different alternate tunings, from open tune stuff to drop tune stuff, Nashville tuning, and just straight up, tune it up or tune it down, which is a lot of fun. Then probably the most important section, and this is where it starts to get weird if you're a guitar player who's not used to using synthesizers, the oscillator section. And this is where a lot of guitar players tune out. It's like, huh? What's an oscillator? What's a filter? Basically, just think about the Rush song Tom Sawyer and think about that synth intro, how it goes, it makes that kind of sound, okay? So there's a filter on that. The thing making the sound is an oscillator, and the thing making it kind of change and have that kind of sound is the filter. There's my really bad example so that we can move on. But let's have a look at some of the waveforms available here. We've got all the classics, a sine wave. We've got a saw wave, triangle wave, square wave, pulse width modulation, very, very cool. We've got feedback oscillator, we've got the detune saw, and I love this one, the super saw. We're gonna stick with the super saw for now. Because I was talking about Tom Sawyer, and you can see you've got control over the pitch of each oscillator, fine tuning, envelope attack and depth, pitch bend depth, and with the super saw you can control the amount of detune and make it sound really fat, which I like. Then we've got the filter section. You've got a whole selection of different filters in here, as well as cutoff, resonance. You've got envelope attack and depth as well. So again, I was talking about Tom Sawyer. Let's hear what engaging a ladder low pass filter does. It's that sound, it's wah, it's that kind of thing. And if anybody wants to just cut all these onomatopoeia words together, you could probably make a horrendous meme with it. You've got low pass filters, high pass filters, doing that kind of thing. And just use your ears with this kind of thing. If you're a guitar player trying this out for the first time and you've never used a synthesizer or you've never used a guitar synth, just, move things until you hear what you like. Band pass filter, very, very fun. You've got this one. But I really like the ladder low pass filter. It just gives you that really nice swell in there. Then there's a bunch of other extended things. As you can see, there's like an amplitude modulation section here. You've got 2 different LFOs, which you can assign. You've also got 2 sequencers per voice, which is super rad. I don't know if we'll get onto that. And then you've got a layer function. So that's like the idiot's guide to an instrument on the dynamic synth. You can also select between different synths. You've got the oscillator synth, which is kind of like a more straight ahead version of the dynamic synth. That's pretty cool. And then we've got virtual instruments. Well, actually, we've got the GR300, which is super cool, the old Roland guitar synth, complete with a whole emulation section. You've got the sweep switch, the compression switch. I'll turn that on. Oh, that's cool. I love the sweep as well on this. And there's so many controls in here. If you like to tweak, you're going to love the Boss SY-1000. Alternate tuning's available on this as well, and you've got the different modes, VCO, distortion, or both. I think I like both. Okay, so that is going to be, I think I'm going to stick with this GR300 on one voice. So let's leave that. Let's go to like instrument 2 and just play around with some of the other voices. I'll leave the GR off. Actually, I'm going to leave instrument 2 as a dynamic synth. I can do that on instrument 3. I'm thinking out loud here. Let's hear some of these, like the electric guitar emulation, because this is pretty fun. We've got amp modeling in there, which is nice, and guitar modeling. For example, I can make my Strat sound like a Les Paul. I can change the amp to be, I don't remember the amp types. Let's try this Juggernaut, because that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's just hear that at the stock settings. My Strat does not sound like that. So that's kind of fun. I would need a little bit more time to dial this guy in. Let's just add some more present. Whatever, it's not too much about the tone at the moment, but then I could retune this. Let's say I want to do some stuff in drop A. Why not? I could make that a drop A 12 string. Let's not make it a drop A 12 string. Let's make it an open D 12 string. Let's go back to just not 12 string mode on this. So you've got a whole bunch of different open tunings available there. You've also got a bass mode and an acoustic mode, but I'm going to skip over those. Let's hear the bass. Why not? You can select the type of bass. You've got a jazz bass, a P bass, or a fretless. Let's go with the jazz bass. You can select the bass amp and the bass speaker cab, which is really, really cool. Of course, we can all process this with effects after the fact. Let's go, let's just use the bassman. I think I'm still in an alternate tuning. Am I? Yes. We want standard tune bass. That's a whole lot of fun as well, but I love this Vio guitar mode in here. This is from the old VG8. Kind of like a weird cross between a guitar and a violin. You can control the harmonizer. Again, you've got controls over the filter and a whole bunch of that stuff. All right, let's make this the dynamic synth again, because I want that. And then let's have a third instrument, which is maybe an acoustic guitar or something like that, just for fun. And then we got a 3-voice multi-timbral synthesizer thing going on, I think. I don't know, is that the right usage of the term multi-timbral? Timbral spelt timbral as well. I'm just killing time while I turn things on and off. Okay, let's hear the acoustic guitar emulation. We can select a whole bunch of different acoustic guitars: nylon, rezo, banjo, sitar. You can have a sitar? That's wild. All right, we're going to stick with the sitar. Then, let's say with this sitar, I want to process it. I'm going to use Effects 3 over here. And let's put a modulated reverb on it. Why not? That's pretty rad. We could add some delay to that, maybe before the reverb. And let's make this let's make it a dotted eighth delay. Let's do that one. There we go. Very nice and easy. I'm going to activate that. Let's combine it with our other instruments. I've got the dynamic synth. I'm going to turn the filter on. Stock settings, I'm going to have the super saw on there because I really like that. And I don't know, let's put a flanger or something on this guy. Right there, flanger. Let's turn that on. And I'm just going to turn the level down a little bit. Make sure I don't clip anything. Probably a bit too much time on the reverb for my liking. Instrument 2, let's do this. Let's just make sure that's turned all the way up. And again, I can do some panning with this one if I like, and I can set the balance between them. Let's put the sitar off to one side. Let's put the sitar hard left and the other guy's hard right. And then Effects 1, what can we do here? Chorus. Chorus is good on these kind of synths. That's kind of cool and weird. I like that. I can also process my guitar input as well. There's a cable emulation. I said there was a lot of stuff. Then again, we've got all the amps from the GT-1000. Let's go for, I don't know, X high gain. Why not? Turn that on with a 412. And this is like not the greatest sound I've ever heard in my life, but it's a sound, and hopefully I've shown off some of the functionality. Again, you can just keep stacking up effects and EQs. As you can see, I've got a huge modulated reverb on there. There's this master delay section. There is a compressor you can assign anywhere you like. It's kind of good having this at the end of the chain. So let's start another patch and let's do something that maybe doesn't suck as much as this one. So that was very much a case of just because you can doesn't mean you should. What I'm going to stick with now, I'm going to just use a dynamic synth on all 3 instrument voices, and I'm going to set it to that super saw mode, but we'll offset them and detune them a little bit. So the first one, I'm going to set all these strings down the center, but we'll end up panning it left with this balance control. So let's go straight in with the oscillator mode. We're going to go to super saw. We'll set the amount of detune. Where do I set the amount of detune? I feel like I should be able to do that here. Maybe I'm going crazy. Right here. So let's turn that up to about 30. So far, this is what we've got. Okay, then let's add a filter to that. Let's just use a standard low pass filter, and let's play around with the cutoff and the resonance. So this control here is setting the the swell up time on the filter, somewhere around here, minus 24. That's kind of cool. That sounds pretty funky. I mean, we could add the sequencer. We could do that. Why not? Let's just push some buttons and see what happens. That's kind of cool. So if you want sort of arpeggiators or moving pads, this is a really good way to do that. That's just acting on the cutoff frequency. Do a similar thing for the pitch. So as you can see there, what's happening is this is just kind of going up and down through various pitches. Let's maybe make that a sequence where you go the 5th and say the 4th, the 5th, the octave, and then maybe back down. As you can see, I'm not very good at using the sequencer, so let's leave the pitch target off. The rest of it's cool. I can dig that. Let's go straight to voice 2, and we're going to use a super saw as well. I really like this super saw mode, as you can probably guess, and we'll turn the detune up a little bit more. And let's use an alternate tuning. Let's drop this. Actually, I don't need to use an alternate tuning. I can just turn the oscillator voice down an octave. So what this is going to do now is give me an octave below. But I only want that octave on the low 2 strings, so I can just turn the string level all the way down on these. That's pretty cool, right? And let's not do any filtering. I'm not going to do too much of that. That already sounds pretty good. I might add an effect to it in a little bit. Let's go to voice. What I'm going to do there with the balance, I'm going to put instrument 1 left, and I'm going to leave this guy, the octave thing, down the middle. And then with instrument 3, what we'll do there is let's also use a dynamic synth, because let's just lean into the dynamic synth because I like it so much. But let's set this, instead of being the super saw, let's make it, I don't know, pulse width modulation. And then if I turn it on, and we'll push it up an octave as opposed to that other effect there. The high octave is nice for melodic stuff. And let's pan all the strings to do funny stuff. So let's do this, and we'll turn all the string volumes up. Actually, what I'll do with this one is I'll leave the low strings off because we've got an octave down there. Now, all of these three together. That is interesting. Let's add some effects to all of that. I feel like with this high octave, having it panned isn't the best idea. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go back to this balance and I'll just pan it all down the center, but I will do some funky stuff with the strings. So let's go to common and I'll just kind of do the opposite panning that we did with instrument 3. All right. That's kind of a bit more balanced on the stereo spectrum now. Now we can add some effects. So let's stack some chorus effects on instrument 2 and instrument 3. Effects 3, let's make this a chorus as well. Stereo chorus if I can. Now it sounds fat. I like that a lot. Let's then, on the octave, let's do something cool with the octave. Let's make it like a, I don't know, what could we do there? Let's put an auto wire on there. It's kind of got that mean Moog kind of thing. And then we can EQ all of this. Let's see. Low gain, let's push that up. Give it a bit of fatness. We'll also bring up some mid-range at around, let's do 2K. This is sounding cool. I want to put reverb on all of that at the end of the chain, maybe about 4 seconds, and let's use a big hall reverb. I'm enjoying this now. I'm going to put a compressor on right there. Let's bring the attack time down a little bit. This is just to stop everything taking off. I can live with that. That's pretty cool. And then, I mean, let's route this so that there's a delay. I've kind of haven't done this the best way, but let's just put delay on everything. We'll use a master delay, and we've got a panning type delay, but look at all these different delay types. You've got basically the Boss DD500 living in here, which is pretty awesome. We could do panning, or we could do reverse. That might be interesting. Maybe we'll put reverse on one of the other voices. Let's go for pan, dotted eighth note. That's nice, but now that I've had that idea on voice 3, let's put a... Oh, you can't put a reverse delay here. That's okay. Let's swap these. So I'll put the reverse here. See, you can do it if you put your mind to it. Reverse delay on that voice, and then this guy is just going to be a dotted eighth note delay. Beautiful. Where's the level? I'm going to bring the high cut down because I do that with all of my delays. And this sounds like this. I kind of dig it. That's a lot of fun. Maybe this compressor is kind of killing everything. I'll just bring the overall level down so I don't clip my interface. Let's hear that. Awesome. Now let's add some normal guitar in there. I'm going to go with the distorted guitar sound, and we will go for, let's just use X high gain. I remember that sounding good at stock settings. The only thing that I miss about this is that you can't load your own guitar cab impulses into it. It would be pretty killer if you could do that. That would be really, really awesome if they added that. That's ridiculous fun. I just want to turn these synths down so you can hear more of the natural guitar. I didn't have my delay on the whole time. And I'm also going to turn up the gain on this amp by doing that. I really should spend some time dialing it in, but it sounds okay for now. This thing is way too much fun. It's probably a little bit too easy if you're somebody like me and you're a guitar player that loves guitar effects and you're not super experienced with guitar synths to really overcook stuff. But if you kind of approach it the way you would approach a traditional guitar rig and think of these as, I guess, like layers if you are multi-tracking guitars, and that's a really cool way to just go in and like create hybrid instruments. And that last section really focuses on that dynamic synth, but there's so much scope. This is one of these things where I could probably do a video a week for 2 years with this thing and not get through all the functionality. So hopefully that sheds a little bit of light on some of the things you can do with some of the bits of the SY-1000. I will definitely be doing more videos with this. I'm going to spend some time on my own when I'm not on camera cooking up some custom patches as well, and I'll share those with all of you when I do. I don't know when that's going to be. It depends when I kind of get my arms around this beast. I may never do that. There's so much cool stuff going on in there. The factory presets sound great as well, but hopefully this was a nice little insight into what you can do. You can also, of course, just turn off all the synth stuff and you've got guitar amp modeling in there and guitar effects. So you really, a lot of the time with synths, they sound okay on their own, but then you want to process them with guitar pedals and things like that. For this, you can just, I'm going to turn that huge reverb off with the guitar sound and maybe the chorus, but you got guitar sounds in there too. If you guys have any questions, please get them in the comments below. I will see you again real soon.